Alright, audio's rolling. I'll just cut to the chase here. I fucked up. I demonstrated a lapse in judgment and made decisions that let down my friends, my acquaintances, and my audience to whom I am so deeply indebted. I'm listening and learning, and I would like to just take accountability for the following things. Posting a clip of the song Satisfaction by Benny Benassi and falsely claiming it was leaked audio of Stephen Hawking at Epstein Island. Repeatedly making ominous, cryptic replies to Richie Torres in Hebrew on Twitter. Accusing Hassan Piker of being responsible for the 3,000-year-old temple that burned down while he was still in China. Suggesting that we should only give food stamps to skinny people. Suggesting that we replace food stamps with universal basic soylent. Saying George Floyd died of AIDS. Saying George Floyd died of SIDS. Saying Jimmy Carter died of a David Carradine type situation. Making a list of the top 10 Goyim mind slaves, and then calling anyone who protested their inclusion on the list anti-Semitic. Saying that Omar Fateh, the Somalian mayoral candidate in Minneapolis, looked like an angry light bulb. Covering Hurricane by Bob Dylan in a Twitter space. Telling people that I heard from a penis doctor that Elon Musk's penis resembled a losing BattleBot, and then also saying it again in a video. Replying to a selfie posted by Ben Shapiro's sister saying that I actually think it was 7 million. Saying that Sandy Hook was a Mandela effect. Saying that Sandy Hook was a prank. Saying that Sandy Hook was a Pat Tillman situation. Saying that Sandy Hook was a self-defense situation. Saying that Israel nuked Sandy Hook. Saying that Sandy Hook was an accident. Saying that 9/11 was an accident. Saying that 9/11 was a David Carradine situation. Saying that there was only ever one Twin Tower and posting a photoshopped version of the NYC skyline as evidence. Saying that the Boston bombing was an accident. Saying that the Boston bombing was a Pat Tillman situation. But that kind of was, if you think about it. Drawing Yarmulke with the Zodiac Killer symbol on Ted Cruz's head, repeatedly asking PETA if they disavowed Hitler's vegetarianism or if they agreed he was right about at least some things, submitting a community note to the Post joking about J.D. Vance's mom trading him for Percocet, saying that she actually traded him for Tylenol 3, saying that Terry Schiavo was faking, getting into a fight with an account, lurking through their media tab until I could triangulate their location, going on Zillow and finding the property listing photos of their house from when they bought it, then making a one-to-one recreation of their house in Hammer, which is the Counter-Strike source map editor, and then DMing a video of me playing the map to them, saying we should cut the undersea internet and phone cables going to India, teaching Westerners how to determine an Indian person's caste by their name. Saying John Fetterman tried to shoot himself but survived because anything smaller than 10 mil just bounced off his head like a grizzly bear. Posting a video of a BDSM medical fetish dungeon with a man in a gimp suit hooked up to some kind of infernal dick-sucking contraption with the caption praying for John Fetterman and then leaking under news articles about Fetterman being in the hospital. Repeatedly complimenting John Fetterman for his performance as Hodor, saying that Israel was threatening to release a blackmail tape of John Fetterman trying to pet a bunny rabbit. Telling people John Fetterman's favorite song was Limousine by Brand New, telling people that John Fetterman's iPod only contains the songs Daylight by Matt and Kim by Eminem, telling people that Tom Scott was a founding member of Lost Prophets, advising that Ukraine bombed the Kaliningrad Oblast, saying there should be Black Hebrew Israel, saying that Black Hebrew Israel should be located on the border between India, Pakistan, and China, saying there should be a second Israel in Quebec, threatening to send various puppy girls to a kill shelter, telling no fewer than 20 people that they had Star Wars names when they got mad at me for comments made about India, saying that we should have nuked Japan twice a year every year like Coachella until 1961. What else on here? Jokingly describing Zoran's lovely wife as a fascist just because she's the Assad regime kind of Syrian and was raised in Dubai, and all of her artwork is in the color scheme of the Syrian National Socialist Party, threatening to report a Native American to ICE to be deported back to where he came from, saying Zoran's wife has kind of like a favorite childhood activity was throwing rocks at the servants type look going on, and then trying to explain that I meant in the hot way. Quote tweeting the Department of Homeland Security with the uncensored goatsy image. Quote tweeting NATO with the NATO logo photoshopped to contain part of the uncensored goatsy image. You know which part. Saying that Lord probably had mad good depth perception. Creating the official FLESHCORP rug pull token on a meme coin website and then not rug pulling it and then letting it graduate from the bonding curve and become a real cryptocurrency. Link in the description. Saying that Hassan's chat should be able to shock his dog via tips, like a cam girl. Getting into an argument with a guy and using an Instax printer to print out a picture of his apartment building from Google Street View and then mailing it to him at his office with no return address from the MacArthur Plaza post office. Saying Hamas was playing Legos with the hostages. Having Grok write a sequel to the Nine Inch Nails song Closer about Will Stansel. Referring to Yukio Mishima as a queer person of color. repeatedly tagging Grok in the replies to people's selfies and asking Grok to edit the picture so that they're wearing black face paint, until I got banned from being able to tag Grok. Repeatedly quote tweeting Will Stansel's scathing tweets about Republicans from, like, the middle of a thread without context, and saying, like, Will, that's no way to describe your Somali neighbors, or whatever. Taking Will Stansel out of context to make him look racist. Asking Grok to invent entirely new tortures for Will Stansel, and then sending screenshots of that to Will Stansel. And cursing people in Sumerian. Those are all of the things I would like to apologize for. Make sure to make your way over to my second channel, Flesh Emulator. It's where I post my podcast, Gladiodrome, the official podcast of the Deep State. Opinions expressed herein are not our own. Right, I creep at night. Posse deep is how I creep.